You've probably heard the same old advice: study harder, memorize more theory, or just play tougher opponents. But what if that's the exact trap holding you back? So, I have boiled down my years of coaching into a 5-pillar formula. And by the way, you will have to take notes today, because we are going way deeper than simple tips like solving more puzzles. Improving is so much more than that. The biggest trap for beginners and intermediate players is that you don't need to know 20 moves of the Najdorf Sicilian. Openings and gambits might give you perfect games and fast wins, but it might also give you terrible middle games and broken dreams. And what you need to understand is that only 2% of the games ends in opening. And let's be real, instead of studying hours of openings, you just need to understand how to develop your pieces, control the center, and get your king to safety. Principles and plans over memorization. Every minute you save on opening theory is a minute you can invest in something that actually matters. Let's take a look at an example. A 700 rated player might win a knight with a clever opening fork, but if they're so focused on their material advantage that they miss a simple pin, they could blunder their queen right after, proving that an early edge isn't enough to win. Your rating is just a number, a lagging indicator of your skill, not the target you should be chasing. Obsessing over those points can sabotage your progress, making you anxious, second-guessing every move, or even tempted to take shortcuts like cheating just to see that number tick up. The real goal? Make better decisions on the board one move at a time. True improvement comes from focusing on the quality of your play, not the scoreboard. Ask yourself, did I spot a tactic I'd have missed last week? Did I anticipate my opponent's threat before it caught me off guard? Those are your victories, and they stack up over time. Picture yourself in a middle game where your opponent has a bishop on g4, pinning your knight to your queen. Last month, you might have missed the danger and moved your knight, losing material to the pin. But now, you pause, spot the threat, and instead play a quiet move to break the pin, setting up your own counter-attack. That moment of clarity, choosing the right move over a blunder, is a win, whether the game ends in a checkmate or a draw. Keep prioritizing those small, smart choices, and your rating will naturally climb as your skills sharpen. I want you to quickly pause the video and calculate this position. If you found bishop takes h7, you're correct, but that is not the point. You need to know when to stop calculating to save time. A good move is useless if you run out of clock. If you didn't see it, Pillar 5 will teach you how to find those moves. That's because perfectionism in chess is a silent rating killer. You can't calculate every possible line to checkmate. It's a trap that eats up your clock and sets you up for blunders under time pressure. This pillar is all about efficiency. Calculate just enough to find a good, safe move that strengthens your position, then trust your intuition and play it. Overthinking your moves is a real problem that causes you to lose games. This happens when you spend too much time checking every possible move and outcome, or when you hesitate and doubt a perfectly good move just because you're worried it's not the absolute best choice. Instead, train yourself to recognize when you've done enough. A good move now is better than a perfect move you never get to play. For example, imagine you're in a sharp middle game with 7 minutes left on your clock. You're considering a bishop sacrifice on h6 to open up your opponent's king. You calculate 2 moves deep. The bishop takes, pawn takes, and your queen swings in with a check. It looks promising, but you could spend 5 more minutes chasing every possible response, pawns, knights, or even a counterattack. Instead, you see the move is safe, gains initiative, and keeps your pieces active. So, you play it, save your time, and maintain control of the game. That's efficiency in action. By practicing disciplined calculation, knowing when to stop and trusting your judgment, you'll avoid time scrambles, reduce blunders, and play with confidence. That's how you build the habit of safe calculations. The most important question to ask every turn is, what is my opponent trying to do? Before you focus on your own plans, like setting up an attack or a clever move, stop and think. Look at the board from their side. What's their best move? Are they planning a check, a capture, or a tricky pawn move that could hurt your position? Most mistakes happen because players get so focused on their own ideas that they completely miss what their opponent is setting up. For example, picture a middle game where you want to push a pawn forward to attack their pieces. You're excited to open up the board, but you haven't checked their setup. If you stop and ask, what's their plan? You might notice their rook is ready to slide to an open file. Instead of pushing the pawn, you move your king to a safer square and avoid a costly mistake. Asking this question isn't just about avoiding blunders, it also helps you understand your opponent's strategy, so you can counter it and build your own plan more effectively. Make it a habit to ask, what is my opponent trying to do? This simple check will help you catch threats and reduce mistakes. The fifth pillar is my secret weapon of crossing 2000, the CCT and Pawns Framework. This is your automatic thought process, a mental checklist that transforms how you approach every move. Before you even think about touching a piece, run the scan. Checks, captures, and threats. First for your own moves, then for your opponent's. This simple, three-step process will uncover 90% of the tactics you're currently missing, but it doesn't stop there. After running CCT, shift gears and ask, what pawn push can weaken their structure? Pawns are the soul of chess. They shape the board, create opportunities, and set the stage for your attacks. A well-timed pawn break can crack open a locked position or expose an enemy king, while ignoring pawns leaves you stuck in a tactical rut. This framework blends razor-sharp tactical awareness with long-term strategic thinking, making every move count. Let's go back to the position we calculated earlier. Now, if you do the CCT check, you will be easily spotting this Greek gift sacrifice. Make this framework your reflex. Run CCT, evaluate pawns, repeat, and you'll start seeing the board like a stronger player. These 5 pillars aren't separate. They work together as a system. They change you from a player who hopes to find a good move into a player who knows how to build one. You can always re-watch the video if you forget any of the part that we mentioned earlier.